Alright, y'all. So I don't know what I had planned to do today, but we're watching this instead. And it is.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Like, I don't know how this anime can be with having a solid first episode. Like, it actually had a pretty decent first episode, but then just throw that out the window, apparently. Alright, so it also had great revenge and motivation moving forward for the series with his mother's killer, but instead, going like the whole Eren Yeager route, he's another fucking boring Kirito, but with bangs. Another isekai show that is, for some reason, at the top of everyone's seasonal anime charts, but does actually nothing with their potential. It does absolutely nothing new, except for some strange element effects that they put onto their characters to make them look less boring, or make it seem like they're doing something. Like, I honestly feel kind of numb watching this show. It's like my eyes are glazed over and my mind is just shutting down. Like, I sometimes thought that the anime might be buffering while watching, but then realized, nope, that's just the animation. It's just so stiff, every scene feels like a still image. So I'm gonna warn my younger audience with spoilers. Wait, this is like actually this. Still, I'm gonna warn you just in case you're not used to A, watching your protagonist look the same as all the other Kirito wannabes, B, pulling every furry in this anime. Wait, she's underage. Correction. Lolly furries. Lolly furries? Coin that term. C, me being more bored than I've ever been in my life. So for context, I will be spoiling the first 11 episodes with mentioning what's gonna happen in episode 12. So if you haven't seen it, you've been warned. So if you didn't know that on episode 3, minute 535, where SpongeBob got caught lacking without a piece, that's not my fault. You ruined your own childhood. For some of you, you might be too young for that joke, but I'm not your parent. I don't get paid enough to do this. Actually, I don't get paid at all. Alright, so episode 1. It starts out with a flashback of him as a kid making a promise to a girl. So right off the bat, I had two things to say. One, it's like one of those little kid promises with like your sister or cousin when they first hear about what marriage is. Bruh, you wasn't supposed to take it serious. And two, how the f do you actually remember this? Like, I have a hard enough time remembering what I ate last night, let alone the exact day and time, the street I was on, to some random elementary school girl. What? How do you remember this? But then this flashback is interrupted because Truck Coon's cousin, Train Coon, decides to come just hit you out of nowhere. Wait, hold on, go back. The driver fucking sucks at his job. He could have avoided this the entire time. Man, I knew I should have just walked today. JK. I still wouldn't have walked. I'm lazy. So we wake up in another world, looking hella musty. Dang. Like, this is the time period where they don't have barbers. Like, this is the time period where they don't have soap. And how do I know this? Because it literally has that in the anime. It's funny. Like, you know he got dirt all over him, even in his butt crack. It's a damn shame having dirt up your butt crack, poor kid. Okay, so then these assholes come in the room with some food, right? But they decide not to share. So you know they ain't his parents. They could be his older siblings, because as an older brother, I do that shit all the time. So while he's eating these berries, we spot Celia, who is possibly best girl, probably too. After she gives us some money for literally doing nothing, we go back to our house and get shanked. But then Rio turns on his ultra instinct and just does the most impressive thing the entire show. This is kind of the peak. So he beat the shit out of this assassin who's like, I don't know, an assassin. And then we save this girl who turns out to be inside this bag that are brothers, I want to say cousins, I was gonna say like neighbors, I don't know who they were. Anyways, they had her in the bag. And then we save her and then everything just turns out great for our hero. Oh, did you like actually believe me? Nah. You see, this is an anime, and of course nothing's gonna go good for our hero. Thus begins Rio's journey to being mistreated. Like, he saves this princess and then this whiny ass little kid starts accusing him of doing some stuff, making this entire situation just worse. It starts with a sword being swung in his face, to then being brutally tortured. Like, he's 7, and not just that, he did nothing wrong. The kidnappers are already dead. You could have just asked him some simple questions while giving him like some milk and cookies or whatever. But no, we gotta torture the kid. Why? Because they wanted to torture a kid. I don't know. Even after this man is caught red-handed, he's still like, yo, let me get back to my job. Yo, Oh my god. So the episode finishes with him talking to the king. Episode 2. So he gets to go to the Royal Academy where they learn what 1 + 1 is. Because that's basically as well as all their intelligence is by this point in history. So on the first day, of course, the kids make fun of him for not knowing how to read, which sounds about right, honestly. Sounds pretty normal. But then PE starts, and he makes up for not being able to read. Then in front of the entire class pulls the biggest "I'm not even trying" card. This is like this freaking Shaggy Ultra Instinct meme all over again. In anime, the "I'm not even trying" card is like pulling the biggest reverse Uno cards on your allies. So after he's done studying to be one of the smart kids, he remembers him being cucked in his previous life. Like I said, you took it too serious, my guy. After years of tea time with Sensei go by, he finally gets to have some revenge against Charles, the guy that tortured him. Keeping this in mind though, this guy's like 34 and he's like 13. So of course he wins, because anime. So these two are just plotting on their revenge. Man, what could we do to get back at this guy? We could cuck him. No, that would never work. Now, because this duel was in front of everybody, he gets a love letter, which is kind of out of character for like the terms of the show. Like, this one came out of like left field a little bit for me, but you know, is what it is. Surprised it was just one though. Episode 3. Episode 3 is all about Nobility screwing over Rio. Like, it all starts out as some like little kid jealousy thing, right? To then straight up just disrespecting him, to then like all like outright just like trying whatever they can to just get him out of here. So they go on a field trip, right? And this guy is like the commander, and I don't know how that was. Probably because wrote nobility, and plus he had a penis. So you know, sounds about right. So while Rio has to carry all their shit, because you know he's the peasant, they come across some ogres, whatever, right? Or just throwing some spears at him, because you know why not? And then this kid gets hit with a spear, right? And because he didn't like block properly, he gets cut a little bit, and he just starts whining and bringing down the entire group. Even this guy's just like, quit, bitch, get over it. He starts flailing a little bit, and then he knocks over the princess, causing Rio to go save her with whatever this was. I don't know. After they're done dealing with those orcs, they get on to the blaming game of like who knocked over the princess. And they wind up blaming Rio, because, you know. So as he's pondering what to do in the situation, well, what do I do now? They seem to be blaming me for knocking over the princess when I just saved her. Should I go back to the group? Nah. So he decides he's just gonna leave here, because he was gonna leave anyways. Like, he's been with this group for like, at this point, maybe like 4 or 5 years. They're still like, he means nothing to us. He can die. At any moment, he could die, and they're just like, I don't care. It was the coldest thing. Not one tear, not one layer of concern. They're like, yeah, let's go home, guys. Forget about him. He deserves it. Okay. And that's when the orc god himself shows up to rule out his judgment. And they're all just pissing their pants. Only one of them had the courage to attack. Try again, little nigga. This nigga laughing the entire time. Then Rio shows up and is like, you know, I guess I should help them this last time, because the princess was cool to me. And he defeats the orc god. And again, no one sees this. I don't know how everyone didn't see this. This was like the only thing they had to worry about. I know the orc god knocked out like 3 of them, but still, the rest of the class should have been like seeing them. Because they did nothing. I saw no screen time in what they did. But yeah, he decides to leave. And before he leaves, decides to go back to the best girl and say goodbye, you know? And we don't see her for the rest of the anime. Episode 4. So after traveling, we fight Latifa, who's the fox assassin lolly girl, who was the little girl on the bus. Literally, this is where her usefulness just peaks. Like, after this episode, trash. Like, after this episode, she's just another character just saying Oni-chan like 15 times an episode. She has this really sick backstory, pretty nasty. Really giving off that Shinji vibe from like Fate. But that aside, they really messed up with her character. They could have had like a Raftalia like type of vibe character, and they traded that in for Miyuki. Like, who trades in Raftalia for Miyuki? Did no one teach you guys equivalent exchange? Episode 5. So the two of them start traveling, and they get attacked by 1, 2, 3 lolly beast girls, and the one girl with the wings. And they're taken to the forest. Oh, I mean their village. Adding these species into fantasy animes always goes poorly for me. Like, very few animes actually get it right. I feel like if you're gonna add them, you need to add something new and interesting to them. If not, don't even add them to the first season, because they need to be able to stand on their own. And here, they don't do that. Episode 6, they get attacked. And he leaves. Oh wait, before that, they have this party where the Beast Girls get drunk and want to bone him. Okay. Episode 7. He goes to royal Japan. Then this girl almost gets redo healered. Yeah, but then Rio stops it in time. Nice. It was still pretty dark though. Episode 8. Meets his royal family. Then he tells his grandparents and the audience about his mother being murdered and how he knows who the murderer was, as well as him wanting to kill the sadistic mother did it. Like, why the fuck did I not know about this till like now? This could have been like the main point of the anime. Like the main story could have been just this. And I'm just now hearing about this. Episode 9. This is all about Sayo's coming out party. Her story of training to be the best girl. But then he curves her again. Why? He never really gives a reason. Like to this day, I don't know why. Like the girl says she'll do anything. Like, I don't know. All I gotta say about this is not consistent with the manga. Like, this is when I knew the ending of this anime was about to be hella sus. Yeah, but we'll get into that. Episode 10. So in the manga, the girl who sees this is the girl that cucks Rio, being Mia-chan. Yeah, so this anime has been teasing this girl in the opening, outro, and as well as flashbacking her, just to not have her in the first season. Trash, I'm already calling it right now. It just does not justify her being up to this point in everything in the anime. Mia-chan actually does end up coming to this other world with his sister, just kind of pretty bad. Episode 11. So Rio goes back home with his spirit to stop Sensei's wedding. Like, they really skip past all the manga just to get to the end. So we find out Sensei is getting married to Charles. Rio's getting cucked again. Charles's ultimate revenge was cucking him. I can't. So in summary, this shit's like a 2 out of 5. Like, they really don't follow the source material after like episode 10, but not just that, Rio is just a really boring main lead. Like, there's nothing interesting that he really does, and there's no interesting side characters to go along with them. I could tell you exactly like what they would be doing even if without me having to like watch this anime. Any potential they have, they literally kill it the first 2 minutes they even like bring up the character or bring up an event. The anime has like 3 good scenes while the rest are like dull and trash. Like, he spends 15 minutes of 22-minute runtime picking weeds and talking about how the weather is. Like, I don't know whose idea was to make this a TV anime, but y'all f***ed up. You know, I would rather watch Plunderer Season 2. I would rather watch Fafnir Season 1. I would rather watch Infinite Dreadogram? Actually, let me not go that far. I mean, at least that one's like a polished turd, and this one's just like a full-on turd. You know, maybe that still was a little too far, though. Infinite Dreadogram at least looked better, but it was still, we knew it was trash from like the first episode. This one, I had hope. But yeah, that's how I really feel about this anime. Bye.